that's for is if you very over the cell walls and stuff like gas. They'll burn out the water. So this way it won't.
Fight the Hun, we would shoot him with a gun. Our meadows would shine like a silver in the sun. We were off to fight the Hun, and it looked like lots of fun. Somehow it didn't seem like war at all, at all, at all. Somehow it didn't seem like war at all. I think when you haven't been in a war for a while, you have to take what you can get. I mean, Canada, 1914, they must have been pretty desperate. I mean, take me, for instance, 20 years old, a convicted liar and a cheat. I mean, I'm on record as the worst student RMC. Oh, that stands for the Royal Military College in Kingston, Ontario. I'm on record as the worst student they ever had. I join up. They make me an officer, a lieutenant in the Mississauga Horse. Well, all I can say is they must have been scraping the bottom of the barrel. We were off to fight the Hun, though hardly anyone about a battle, much less seen or Lewis gun. We were off to fight the Hun, and it looked like lots of fun. Somehow it didn't seem like war at all, at all, at all. Somehow it didn't seem like war at all. Yeah! It looked like it was going to be a great war. I mean, all of my friends were really keen to join us. They were. Not me. I tell you, Royal Military College had been enough for me. Now, the reason I went to RMC was, well, I could ride a horse. And I was a great shot. I mean, I am really a good shot. I've got these tremendous eyes. And RMC had an entrance exam, and that was good because my previous scholastic record wasn't that hot. In fact, when I suggested to my principal that indeed I was going to RMC, he said to me, "Bishop, you haven't got the brains." But I studied real hard, sat for the exam, and I got in.
Recruits will march at all times. They will not loiter, they will not window shop. Recruits will run at all times, when in the parade square. Recruits will be soundly trounced every Friday night, whether they deserve it or not.
Those guys were nuts. They were going to make leaders out of us. A theory being that before you could learn to lead, you had to learn to obey. So, because of this, we were all assigned to an upperclassman as a kind of, well, slave. Now, I was assigned to this real sadistic SOB, this guy named Vivian Bishop. That's right, same surname as mine. And because of that, I had to tuck him into bed at night, kiss him on the forehead, and say, "Good night, Daddy." I mean, it's pretty hard to take some of that stuff seriously. One of my punishments, I was supposed to clean out the old Martello Tower at the edge of the lake. Now, it was filthy, had not been used for years. Now, I do a great job. I mean, I clean it up real good. This upperclassman comes along to inspect it. What's that in the corner, Bishop? That's it. That's a spider. That's right, Bishop. That's a spider. You were supposed to clean this place up. Now you haven't done that. Now I want you to get down on your hands and your knees and eat that spider. I had to eat that spider in front of all of my classmates. Have you ever had to eat a spider in public? I doubt it. Now, whenever I'm not feeling really good, whenever I'm not happy, I do one of three things. I get sick, I get injured, or I get into an awful lot of trouble. My third year at RMC, guess what? I got into an awful lot of trouble. Well, this friend of mine, Townsend, we got a bottle of gin, eh? And we stole a canoe. We'd arranged to meet these girls out on Cedar Island, out in Dead Man's Bay. Well, of course, the canoe tips over. Now, it's early spring. Really cold. We managed to get back to shore somehow, and we're shivering. And Townsend says to me, "Bish, bish, 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 I'm going to the infirmary. I think I got pneumonia." Well, I'm sitting there saying, "Well, whatever you do, you silly bugger, put on some dry clothes." After all, we couldn't let them know what we'd been doing. We were absent without leave, we were in possession of alcohol, we had stolen a canoe. Well, what I didn't know was that the officer on duty had witnessed the whole thing. Townsend goes to the infirmary and is confronted with the charges and admits to everything. I didn't know this. I am rudely awakened out of my sleep and hauled up before the old adjutant Perrault. Sir, I really don't know what you're talking about, sir. I've been in my bed all evening. Come on, Bishop, come on. I have the testimony of the officer on duty. I also have the full confession of your accomplice implicating you fully in this matter. Now, Bishop, what is your story? Well, I figured I was in too deep to change my story. Now, sir, I maintain, Bishop, I'm going to say to you the worst thing I could say to a gentleman cadet. Bishop, you are a liar. I got 28 days restricted leave for that. It's like house arrest. Then they caught me cheating on my final exam. Well, I turned in the crib notes with my exam papers. And that's when they called me the worst student RMC ever had. They weren't going to tell me what my punishment was going to be until the following fall, so I could stew about it all summer, but I knew. Expulsion with full honors. But then the war broke out. I enlisted, and they made me an officer. For me, it was the lesser of two evils. But everyone else was really keen on the whole thing. They really were. We were off to fight the Hun, though hardly anyone had ever seen a Hun. Would know one if we saw one. We were off to fight the Hun, and it looked like lots of fun. Somehow it didn't seem like war at all. Somehow it didn't seem like war at all. October 1st, 1914, the first contingent of the Canadian Expeditionary Forces left for England. I was in labor. I was in the hospital, thinking of Margaret. Sweetheart, I am in the hospital with pneumonia. The doctors also think I have an allergy. They don't know what I'm allergic to. Probably it's horses. Maybe it's the war. The hospital is nice, so I am in fine spirits. I am thinking of you, Margaret. Constantly. I remain. March 1915. The second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth contingent of the Canadian Expeditionary Forces left for England. I wasn't with them either. I was in the hospital, thinking of Margaret. Sweetheart, please forgive my writing, as I have a very badly sprained wrist. Yesterday, my horse reared up backwards and fell over on top of me. My head was completely buried in the mud. My nose is, of course, broken and badly swollen. I can't see out of one eye and am very badly bruised. But the doctors say that I will be up and about by Monday. Thinking of you, Margaret, constantly, I remain. June 1915, the 7th contingent of the Canadian Expeditionary Forces left for England. I was with them. Now, this was aboard a cattle